Hi, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm going to show you guys how to crochet this sturdy, beautiful, colorful crossbody bag. So let's get right into it. So I'm gathering all of my supplies here. I'm going to be using a lot of loops and threads yarn so that I can use 2 strands at once, and my 8mm crochet hook. I'm going to start off by making my loop, and then I'm going to place my crochet hook through that loop, and we're going to start off by making 30 chains. Since I am using 2 strands at once, 30 chains makes this bag an actual nice size. If I were to use 30 might be a bit too short, but once I've made my 30 chains, I'm going to then start to go into the 30th chain by making a half double crochet stitch. So I'm going to go under those 2 loops, which will look like 4 loops, but it's really 2. I'm going to wrap that yarn around and pull through that hole, and then I'm going to wrap the yarn around again and then pull through all of these loops. So that is my half double crochet stitch. So I'm going to continue to make half double crochet stitches into all of the chains. I want to make sure that my tension isn't too tight, because we do have to go in the middle of these stitches when we start the next row. So continue doing half double crochet stitches for this row. I'm now at my last stitch of the row, and I'm just going to pull through these loops, and then I'm going to turn my work around, and I'm going to be making a half double crochet stitch, but in the middle of the stitch. It's kind of hard to see, but you can just poke it through. You'll be able to feel it because you want it to poke through right in the middle, like how we are here. That little V, we're right in the center, and then we're going to bring that forward. What we're doing is kind of creating the knit stitch while we're crocheting. So that's what I've done. I've also made a tutorial recently on how to do this stitch, but we're going into the middle of that V right there, the upside down V. Poke right through there, just like so. Then we're going to wrap the yarn around our hook and pull through, and then wrap the yarn around our hook again and pull through those 2 loops. So we're going to continue going just like this, making this knit stitch while we are crocheting. And now I'm going to show you guys on how to switch the color combination, because I only kept the same 2 colors for a row and a half. So once I get to like my row and a half mark, I'm going to have to decide which color I don't want anymore. So I'm cutting off my dark green color and I'm keeping my cream color. I'm going to set up my yarn just like this. So with the end of my green yarn, I'm going to place the end of my purple yarn with that, and then I'm going to hold the cream and the purple yarn together that is attached to my yarn ball. We're going to wrap that yarn around our hook, and we're going to pull through those 2 loops, and now we are officially using the purple and the cream color combination, and that's what we're going to continue doing and using for the rest of the row until we hit the 3rd row, and then we will then switch colors again. Once you have done your full panel, you will then keep the yarn on your piece just like that, and we are going to make sure that the panels match. So this is 10.5 inches, as well as the second panel is 10.5 inches. So we want 2 panels that measure at the same height. So now it's time for us to attach the panels together. So what we're going to want to do is make sure that the very nice side of our piece is facing together, and the inside of our bag is both facing outside. So what we're going to do is we're going to weave our crochet hook through both of the panels and make it super secure. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a slip stitch. This is my favorite stitch because I feel like it just makes everything look fresh and clean when you turn it inside out, and you can't really see it, and it's not bulky. So we're going to make a slip stitch to attach both of these panels. So what we're going to do is go into one panel and then across to the second panel, wrap that yarn around, pull through all of those, and then pull through that 1 loop, and that's how we are going to attach the whole of this bag. So you're going to continue to go along this side all the way along to the bottom, and then back up on the side, but leaving the top open. You want to turn your bag inside out now, since we have fully attached it, and what we're going to do is just make sure that everything is secure, and once you can see everything is really nice and neat, we'll then start to work on the strap. So what we're going to do is just pull that yarn if it's still with your piece, and we're just going to cut it off because we don't need it anymore. And now I'm going to decide how thick I want my strap to be. Do I want it to be a total of 6 stitches, but I'm going with 8. So now that I'm going to be doing 8 stitches, I need to account for 4 on one side and then 4 on the other side to make the strap even and centered. So now I've done my 1 stitch, then I'm doing my 2nd stitch, and then also going in there with my half double crochet stitch until I have 8. And then once I have my 8 stitches, what we're gonna do is just like what we have been doing. We're gonna turn our work around, and then into that first stitch we're going to make our half double crochet stitch in the middle, and then we're going to continue to make this like knit pattern for the strap. But for the strap, I didn't do a row and a half and then change color. I kind of did like 4 rows to 3 rows and then I switched color. It's just because it might get too hectic if you do 1.5 rows. And a little tip is that if you want to carry those loose strings with you, you just want to make sure that while you're doing your half double crochet stitch, you're carrying them with you on the top, and then they won't be poking out like they have been for me at the bottom here. I didn't think to do this until I got to the end of the strap, but it just makes it a bit easier, but I'm still going to go in with my crochet hook later. So once you're done your strap, I'm actually going to measure mine so that you guys can make yours similar. So mine measured at 27.5 inches long. And so what I'm going to now do is, with the yarn still on my piece, I'm going to be attaching it to the opposite side, but I want to make sure that I'm attaching it with only 8 stitches and it's just mimicking the opposite side so that it's all even. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use slip stitches to attach it. So I'm just going to be weaving in from the bag part to the strap part in the top of those chains there, and then making my slip stitch to secure it. You can do this from the inside, but I thought that this was okay as the other side kind of looks like it was sewn in from the outside. And now that I've done that, I'm just going to snip off that yarn, pull that yarn through, and now all I have to do is tie in all the loose ends, and my bag is basically done. But I'm going to show you guys how I tied in these loose ends. So here's some loose ends right here. What I did is I got a smaller crochet hook and I weave through the stitches, making sure that this is not facing the outside of my work, and I'm going to grab those strings and I'm just going to pull them through those stitches. It was super easy to do this since this is a 5mm crochet hook, and before I was using an 8mm crochet hook. And once I'm done tying in all those loose ends, then my bag is fully done and I absolutely love it. I already put my wallet and everything inside. I'm going to be using this as my everyday bag and I'm so happy. So thanks so much for tuning into this tutorial. Hope you guys have a blessed day, and thank you. Bye.